Have you ever wondered if someone truly loves you? Not just in words, but in the way they show up for you? Imagine this: you're going through a rough time, struggling with something deeply personal. The person who claims to love you is right there beside you. But what do they ask? What do they say? The truth is, love isn't just about grand gestures or poetic words. It's about understanding, patience, and the questions someone asks when they care about your soul. And according to Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, there are two key questions a person who truly loves you will always ask. Before we dive into these life-changing insights, if you're passionate about Stoic wisdom and personal growth, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Also, stick around until the end, because understanding these two questions could completely change the way you view love and relationships. Now let's uncover what Marcus Aurelius knew about love that most people today completely overlook. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just a philosopher. He was an emperor, a man who had everything: power, wealth, prestige, but still believed that love and relationships required wisdom, not just emotion. Unlike many rulers, he didn't let his position corrupt his heart. Instead, he wrote about love in his famous work, Meditations, not as a fantasy, but as a test of virtue, honesty, and depth. Now imagine this: you're in ancient Rome. The air is thick with the scent of burning oils. The streets filled with merchants, philosophers, and soldiers. Among them walks a man dressed in a simple robe. Despite being the most powerful person in the empire, Marcus Aurelius, despite having the world at his feet, he struggled with the same questions we do today. What does it mean to love and be loved? How do we know if someone truly cares? Through his reflections, he discovered that true love, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, isn't about fleeting emotions. It's about consistency, virtue, and the way we support one another in times of joy and hardship. And the way to know if someone truly loves you? Pay attention to the questions they ask. Here are the two most powerful questions a person who genuinely loves you will always ask. Question 1: how can I support you? The true test of love. Let me ask you something. When you think about love, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe it's the way someone looks at you like you're the most important person in the world. Maybe it's the late-night conversations, the laughter, or the way their presence alone makes life feel a little lighter. But now, think about the hard moments, the times when you were struggling, when your heart felt heavy, when you didn't even have the strength to explain what was wrong. Who was there for you? And more importantly, what did they say? Because in those moments, love isn't about grand gestures. It's about something far simpler. A person who truly loves you will always ask, how can I support you? A love story that might sound familiar. Imagine this. You're sitting on your bed, staring at your phone. You just had the worst day. Maybe work drained you. Maybe you had an argument with a friend. Or maybe life just feels overwhelming for no reason at all. You want to talk to someone, so you pick up your phone and send a message to the person you love. You tell them you're feeling down, that you're struggling. Now what happens next? Some people might respond with, I'm sure it'll be okay. You're just overthinking it. Try to stay positive. And maybe they mean well. But do those words really help? Do they make you feel seen? Now imagine a different response. Instead of brushing it off, they pause and say, how can I support you? Do you feel the difference? Suddenly, it's not just about them offering advice or trying to fix things. It's about them truly showing up for you. That's what love is. Not just hearing, but listening. Not just standing beside you, but holding you up when you need it most. Marcus Aurelius on Love is Action, Not Just Words. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, understood this deeply. In Meditations, he wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. That's love in its purest form. It's not about saying, I love you. It's about asking, what do you need? And then acting on it. Think about the strongest relationships in your life, the ones that have lasted. What made them special? Chances are, it wasn't just the happy moments, it was the times when things got tough, and they chose to stay. Love isn't tested when everything is easy. It's tested when things get hard, when you're not your best self, when you're struggling, and in those moments, the person who truly loves you will never assume they know what you need. They will ask, how this question can transform your relationships. Now let's make this personal. Think about the people in your life right now, your partner, your best friend, your family. When was the last time someone asked you, how can I support you? Or maybe a better question, when was the last time you asked it? Because love isn't just about receiving, It's about giving. It's about looking at the people we care about and saying, I don't have all the answers, but I'm here. Tell me what you need. So here's something to try. The next time someone you love is going through something difficult, resist the urge to give advice right away. Instead, just ask, how can I support you? And watch what happens. Because sometimes love isn't about fixing things. It's about standing beside someone and letting them know they're not alone. And that's the kind of love that lasts. Question 2. Are you being true to yourself? The hardest but most loving question. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever been in love so deeply that, without even realizing it, you started to change? Maybe at first it was little things. You laughed at jokes that weren't really funny. You agreed to plans even when you were exhausted. You let go of hobbies and passions because they didn't seem to fit in the relationship anymore. And then one day you look in the mirror and wonder, who am I now? This is something almost everyone experiences at some point in their life. The slow, subtle shift of molding ourselves to fit into someone else's world. But here's the truth. Real love doesn't ask you to shrink. It asks you to grow. And the person who truly loves you will always ask, are you being true to yourself? A story that might sound familiar. Picture this: you meet someone and it feels like destiny. Everything clicks, conversations flow effortlessly. And for the first time in a long time, you feel seen. They admire your quirks, the way you talk about your dreams, the passion in your voice when you share your thoughts on the world. At first, you are completely yourself. But over time, something changes. Maybe they start making little comments about how you dress, the people you hang out with, or the way you react to things. They don't demand change, but the words stick in your mind. Slowly, without even realizing it, you adjust. You stop wearing that one outfit because they once said it looked a little too much. You stop sharing your opinion so openly because they prefer to avoid debates. You stop spending time with certain friends because they don't really like them. And before you know it, you've lost little pieces of yourself, not because they forced you to, but because you wanted to keep the peace to make them happy. But then imagine one day, a close friend, someone who has known you for years, sits across from you and says, are you happy? Are you still being true to yourself? That question stings, because deep down you already know the answer. Why this question is the ultimate act of love. Most people in our lives will say what we want to hear, not what we need to hear. They'll tell us, I support whatever makes you happy. But what if what we're doing isn't making us happy? What if we're just afraid to admit it? A person who truly loves you will challenge you. They won't just watch you drift away from yourself. They will stop you and ask, are you sure this is what you want? Are you making this choice for yourself or for someone else? Are you still living in alignment with the person you once wanted to become? Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Love should follow the same principle. If a relationship forces you to be someone you're not, it's not love, it's self-betrayal. And here's the most important part. The right person will never ask you to betray yourself. They will love you for your authentic self, not for the version of you that makes their life more convenient. Reflect on your own love story. Now let's turn this question toward you. Think about your past relationships or even the one you're in now. Have you ever felt yourself shifting, changing, becoming someone else just to make things work? Or on the other hand, has someone ever asked you this question? Maybe a friend, a sibling, or even your partner looked at you one day and said, are you being true to yourself? If they did, you probably remember it. Because that's not a question you forget. So now I want you to reflect. Ask yourself, am I still living in alignment with who I truly am? Have I let love change me in a way that doesn't feel right? Do the people around me challenge me to stay true to myself? Because real love doesn't ask you to be less. It asks you to be more of who you are, more of who you were meant to be. And that kind of love, that's the only kind worth keeping. The difference between real love and empty love. Let's bring it all together. Empty love says, I support you without ever asking how. I want you to be happy, without ever questioning if you're truly happy. But real love, deep, stoic, enduring love asks, 1. How can I support you? 2. Are you being true to yourself? The people who ask these questions are the ones who care about your soul, not just your presence. They don't just want you in their life, they want you to thrive. And here's the key, it works both ways. If you truly love someone, these are the questions you should be asking them too. So think about the people in your life. Do they ask you these questions? And perhaps more importantly, do you ask these questions to those you love? Marcus Aurelius lived nearly 2,000 years ago, yet his wisdom on love and relationships remains timeless. He understood that love isn't about grand gestures or surface-level romance. It's about action, support, truth. So the next time someone tells you they love you, don't just listen to their words. Watch what they ask. Because love isn't just about being there, it's about truly seeing someone. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.